Keep your friends close and your enemies closer is widely recognized phrase. Have you ever thought about the depth of that warning? Machiavelli knew. We've always been programmed to fear enemies, to see them as obstacles, threats, roadblocks to success. Unfortunately, the real threat often comes from those you trust the most. Friends often hide their resentment, bury their envy, and keep their true feelings locked behind a mask of politeness. They laugh when they don't mean it. They praise when they secretly disapprove, and they agree to avoid conflict. Enemies? They don't bother with any of that. They tell you exactly where you stand. Here's the paradox. While you're busy trusting friends who secretly resent you, you're ignoring the clarity that enemies bring. They don't sugarcoat their intentions. They challenge you, test you, and keep you on edge. That edge, it's the sharpness you need to succeed. Think about it. Enemies simply don't pretend to like you. They don't flatter you with empty compliments. They don't smile through gritted teeth while secretly wishing for your failure. Instead, they expose your flaws, criticize your mistakes, and push you to defend yourself. Does it hurt? Of course. But that pain, that's growth. History knows this. Niccolo Machiavelli observed that leaders often find more loyalty and usefulness in former enemies than in trusted friends. Why? Because an enemy, once reconciled, has something to prove. They work harder, push further, and show more dedication than someone who's grown complacent in your trust. Enemies don't let you settle. Without an enemy at your heels, you grow lazy, unfocused. A clear enemy keeps you sharp. So here's the truth. You need to change your indoctrinated view. Your enemies are a resource, not a liability. First, you need to realize that they keep you focused. Every attack, every obstacle they throw your way forces you to think, adapt, and grow stronger. They show you your blind spots, the things your friends are too afraid to tell you. Second, enemies make you relatable. A clearly defined enemy sharpens your identity. People often rally behind a public figure not because of their words, but because of the opposition you face. A common enemy creates unity. And third, enemies can be turned into allies. Even Abraham Lincoln understood this better than anyone. After winning the presidency, he shocked the nation by filling his cabinet with former rivals, men who had openly opposed him during the election. He didn't do this out of kindness, but he did it because these men challenged him. Lincoln knew that strength doesn't come from surrounding yourself with yes men. It comes from those who push you, who force you to think critically and act decisively. This decision was brilliant. These former enemies became some of his most loyal and effective allies. Understand this. When you make peace with an enemy, they'll work harder to prove their loyalty than any friend ever will. But remember, not every enemy should be converted. Sometimes keeping an enemy as an enemy is the best strategy. Their presence keeps you vigilant, their opposition keeps you sharp, and their resistance fuels your growth. However, this isn't to say enemies are always your friends in disguise. Some enemies are simply destructive. Some will stop at nothing to tear you down. The key is knowing which enemies are worth engaging and which are best left alone. A wise person understands that not every battle is worth fighting, so be wise. And yes, there are moments when a friend can help more than an enemy, but even then, boundaries must remain clear. Friendship should never blur the lines between trust and judgment. Here's the dark truth. You need enemies more than you think. They're not your downfall. They're your crucible. They sharpen your instincts, expose your blind spots, and force you to rise above. Stop fearing them and start using them. Because while friends comfort you, it's your enemies who shape you. Rise, brother.